I did do some Zillow researching for a house last night, so I had a feeling.
I'm sure you have talked to everybody about playing both ways, offense and defense. What are we thinking? Is there, you're leaning towards one more than the other, or do you really want to go 100% both ways?
Nah, I'm not leaning to one or the other. You know, I'm going 100%. As much as they put on my plate, I'm going to do the best that I can to, you know, take it all in and, you know, do my job.
Awesome. Congratulations, Travis. Enjoy the ride, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Could Travis Hunter really be gearing up to drop a bombshell transfer announcement? If the whispers floating around are even half true, this is way more than just a football decision. Word on the block is, this move has nothing to do with playbooks, contracts, or what's showing on the scoreboard, and everything to do with his wife, Leanna. Fans are buzzing with claims that one of his very own Jaguars teammates got way too close to her. And when I say too close, you already know exactly what's being implied. Now here's where it turns messy. The timing is straight up shocking. We're not talking about some off-season shuffle or an end-of-year trade. Nope. This is mid-season, out of nowhere, with no warning at all. And the internet is convinced the reason isn't professional. It's personal, messy, complicated, and flat-out humiliating if it's true. There are old clips resurfacing, shady whispers from inside the locker room, and rumors that their marriage has already had cracks showing. If even half of what's being said is legit, Travis walking away from the Jaguars might actually be the least dramatic part of this whole storm. Transfers in the NFL? Sure, they happen all the time. Players bounce between teams chasing better contracts, bigger opportunities, or a chance to shine somewhere new. But the way this situation is unfolding, oh, this one feels different, way different. We're talking about a player hyped up as one of Jacksonville's future stars, suddenly packing his bags mid-season, not at the end of the year, not during a standard trade window. That's what's raising eyebrows. And here's the kicker. When something like this happens, the first question everyone asks is, what went down? If it was purely football-related, you'd expect the safe, PR-approved lines. It's business. I'm ready for a new opportunity, just focusing on my career. But this time, silence. Complete silence from Travis. And that silence is suspicious, especially when you remember how loud and proud he was on social media when the Jags first drafted him. That's why the online detectives are in overdrive. Reddit threads, Twitter spaces, TikTok breakdowns. Everyone's out here trying to connect the dots. And no matter where you look, one theory keeps popping up again and again. This isn't about his stats. It's about his personal life. More specifically, there's a rumor swirling that a teammate crossed a line with Leanna. If that's true, we're not just talking about a bad look. We're talking about something that could flip a career upside down. At first, it was just vague hints. People posting things like, check the roster, or look at who she's been around lately. But soon, fans on Reddit and TikTok started dropping actual names. The version going around is that one of his own Jaguars teammates got a little too friendly with Leanna. Friendly in a way you don't even need to explain because the tone says it all. The way people are telling it, this wasn't some harmless misunderstanding. It was enough to set off fireworks behind the scenes. You know how the internet rolls? When someone stays quiet, people start thinking the whispers must be true. And what really sent this whole thing spiraling? The way it all lines up with moments we've already seen before. Moments that now feel like they've got a whole different meaning. That old clip from months back, the one where Leanna is allegedly leaning in and chatting with a Jaguars player? Yeah, that video's making the rounds again, and this time fans are looking at it with fresh eyes. And here's the sting for Jaguars fans. If the player in that clip is the same one being linked in these current rumors, then this tension hasn't just popped up overnight. It's been simmering for months. That would explain why certain things behind the scenes started to feel off way before this blew up. There were little hints, whispers about the vibe at practice being off, fans pointing out that some guys who used to hang out and joke with Travis suddenly weren't around him much. Even during pressers, the energy felt weird, like everyone was carefully choosing their words. No one's come out and said, Yeah, there's drama. But when you watch closely, it's hard not to see that Travis just seems different. He's not cracking jokes with the squad like he used to. On the sidelines, he's often off to himself, looking locked in, but also kind of distant. And if this rumor about a teammate and Leanna has even a grain of truth, that would explain a lot. Imagine trying to practice, travel, and share a locker room with someone you don't even want to make eye contact with. That's a whole different level of awkward. Once fans started seeing it that way, this stopped feeling like just football and started sounding more like a behind-the-scenes soap opera you'd expect on TV. But here's the thing. If the locker room was tense, home didn't sound like it was any calmer. Drama like that doesn't just stay on the field. It follows you into the car, the kitchen, even into the stands. Fans started catching little moments that seemed to tell their own story. There's that wedding clip. Travis leans in, she turns her head quick. You remember it. Then later, during a game, cameras caught them in the stands looking tense. No shouting, no big scene, just that sharp, low conversation couples have when something's off. Now put those little moments side by side. The teammate whispers, the stiff body language, the empty Instagram feed, and you start to see a pattern. It's not cold, hard proof, but it's pressure. For him, every snap at practice comes with the thought, what are people saying now? For her, every public moment turns into a body language breakdown online. And before anyone calls it reaching, let's be real. These are the exact signs people have been noticing and just keeping to themselves. Until now. That kind of tension doesn't blow up overnight. It brews, it simmers, and then one day, it's ready to spill over. And just when it looked like they were trying to push through it, Travis started switching up his routine in a way nobody could miss. After all those little signs in his marriage, people noticed something. The changes weren't just happening at home. They were bleeding into his whole lifestyle. This is a guy who used to be everywhere, showing up at charity events, kicking it with friends, even surprising fans with random appearances. You'd see those fun off-season videos, the casual hangouts, the big smiles. But lately, nothing. No public outings, no friendly meet and greets, no just for fun clips. It's like he went from being everywhere to almost invisible. And even when he did pop up, the vibe was totally different. No Leanna next to him, no easygoing grin, just that same locked-in, distracted stare, like his mind was somewhere far away. That's when fans started thinking maybe he wasn't just avoiding a certain teammate, maybe he was avoiding being seen at all in certain situations. And the timing? Oh, it couldn't have been messier. Right around the same weeks he started laying low, the internet chatter about him and Leanna was hitting a full-on peak. Instead of shutting it down with a post or even a throwaway comment, he just stayed silent and let the speculation explode. For a lot of people, that was the signal. He'd already made his decision, not just about the marriage, but about his future with the team. And then came the next rumor. Word from people close to the situation was that Travis and the teammate at the center of all this didn't just keep their distance, they finally had it out. Supposedly, it went down after practice, away from the cameras, but still close enough for folks nearby to notice something was happening. No one's putting their name on what exactly got said, but let's be honest, with all these rumors flying, you don't need a play-by-play to figure out the topic. For a lot of fans, that moment was the, yep, it's over point. Because once it gets that real, once the tension's that thick, there's no way you keep sharing a locker room without something breaking. By the time this made its way into fan spaces, it didn't even feel like gossip anymore. It felt like an unspoken confirmation. And while Travis kept his mouth shut, the silence was speaking louder than anything he could have said. Leanna's silence was starting to feel loud, deafening even. No more posts, no more sideline appearances, and nowhere to be seen in the usual behind-the-scenes content. For someone who always had at least some kind of public presence, this sudden vanishing act was impossible to ignore. Fans caught on instantly. A quick social media break? Sure, that happens. But this felt different, like she was dodging the spotlight altogether. And with all the timing lining up, it wasn't hard for fans to start drawing their own conclusions. Officially, everyone's lips stayed sealed. But unofficially, the whispers were getting louder by the day. The conversation shifted fast. It wasn't if Travis was leaving anymore. It was how he was going to pull it off. Right now, Travis isn't saying a thing. Leanna's keeping her head low. The Jaguars, playing it cool like nothing's going on. Which means there's only one way we're getting the truth. Someone on the inside finally breaking the silence. And when that day comes, trust me, the transfer won't be the headline. The reason behind it will. And that's the part the NFL might not be ready to see blasted across every screen. If you've been following every twist and turn in this saga, you already know. The story's not over yet. So hit that like button, drop a comment with your theory, and subscribe. Because the second someone cracks and spills the truth, you're gonna want to be here for it.